Fab. So welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today on the Careers and Employability Career Mentoring, a Spotlight of Employer session. I'm Alice Burke. I work within the Futures Connect work experience team here at Cardiff University, and we've got three special guests joining us today. Some of our employer mentors to give their overview on their experience of mentoring. So in today's session, I'm going to give you a quick introduction into career mentoring for anybody who's not familiar with how it works and what's involved. We're going to have some discussions, and our employers are going to talk about their rationale behind mentoring and why they're interested in it and their experience, and we'll also get a bit of an insight into the benefits of career mentoring, and there'll be options for some questions later on. So what is career mentoring? For those of you who don't know, this is a new programme that started this year, and it's an opportunity for you to be matched with an experienced professional from perhaps an industry or a sector that you're interested in, and it's the opportunity for you to network and build up lots of insight into perhaps a profession, and to build your career confidence in your choices, perhaps for the work experience or after your studies. And this is going to be done through a structured pathway which will take place over a 4-month period. So the mentoring is going to be taking place between January and April, and the option will be to have 6 mentoring sessions with your mentor, and these will be 1 hour in duration, and they'll be able to be set up flexibly around your studies, so at a time that suits both of you, and they'll be taking place virtually because with everything that's going on at the moment, everything seems to be moving on online, so there'll be the option to either use Zoom, Teams or Skype, whatever works for you and your mentor. So applications for our mentoring programme close on Sunday the 29th of November, so you've got time to apply, and we'll be then looking at matching you sort of December time, so January is when you would be able to find out who your mentor is. Now, I've mentioned that the mentoring scheme covers a pathway, just letting someone else in, and basically the pathway is the structured element which is going to allow you to have some really great conversations with your mentor. We're really mindful that some of our mentors may not have mentored before, and some students may not have been mentored, so we really want to make sure that you've got some great conversations to have. So there'll be a structured pathway you can work through, and before each of your online meetings with your mentor, you'll have access to some short employability topics sessions which are online, which are going to run through some really great key employability topics to cover, and your mentors will have these as well, so they'll be able to do a little bit of a revision in the background and prepare for the meetings as well. So these are going to be commercial awareness, which is really great. This is a great starting point for you to really have a think about who your mentor is, what business they're in, what sector that is, and really drill down on what commercial awareness is. Effective networking, which is great because you'll already be networking with a professional, and they might have some tips or ideas about the best ways of networking within their business. Recruitment tips is also a great one, so you'll have the opportunity to, before the session, to undertake some different types of recruitment tools and CVs and checkers and things like that, and it might be that your mentor may be able to help you with some recruitment tips as well, perhaps for their industry or their business. They might be able to give you a little bit of guidance on what they would expect on a CV, or they might even have some opportunities that they know that's coming up that you can apply for. Building on resilience, we hear resilience all the time, but what does it actually mean? in this session, you'll be able to drill down on that, and you'll be able to discuss that with your mentor as well, because the word resilience and what it means will be different from sector to business to role. It can be really, really diverse. Developing your online brand. This is about LinkedIn, about social media, about having your presence and what that looks like. And then also there's a session on reflection. So yourself and your employer, throughout the sessions, you're going to have loads of really great conversations, and you're both going to get a lot out of it. So it's about covering those elements as well, and working out what have you found. You might even have some more direction about what opportunities you'd like to apply for or go for throughout your career development. As I said before, your mentors will also be prepared with these. So some of the questions you might be able to ask, and these are the start of some great conversations. So thereafter, if you anything else you want to discuss, that's absolutely fine. But at least it means that you're not going to be worried about what to say and vice versa. So let's move on to the next one, about our mentors. So our mentors have volunteered their time to support you and to mentor students. They want to be giving something back and working with Cardiff University students. And in this current time, this is a really good opportunity to do that. We've currently got over 80 mentors on our list, which is absolutely amazing. So there's definitely the demand there from employers of seeing the benefit in this. They're from a range of sectors and industries, and some of them are junior graduates, and we've also got some professionals who've got years of experience behind them. So we've got a really wide range. Some are local, some are across the UK, and we've also got overseas mentors as well. And our mentors have also submitted an application form, which is really similar to the application form you will have submitted. And this is going to help us with the matching process. So here is just a list. These are just some of the organisations who we've got who have already submitted application forms to mentor our students. And you can see we've got a really wide range of mentors there already, and from some really great organisations too, some that you're probably familiar with and some that you might not be. So without further ado, this session is about a spotlight on our employers. So we've got three guests, three mentor guests who've joined us today, which is brilliant. And each of them is just going to give an introduction to themselves, their business, why they want to mentor, their experiences, and just give an overview on how they've experienced mentoring before. So first of all, I'd like to ask Jennifer, if you'd like to come to the floor and tell us a little bit about, how you find mentoring and give us an introduction.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Jen Griffiths. I'm the head of HR for a company called Circle IT. We sell business to business IT services, infrastructure projects, things like that across the UK. So we've got customers based London, that way, all the way through. Majority of our customers are obviously local in Wales. And we basically go in, look at solutions for our customers, future-proof solutions, sell them solutions, project manage those, install them, and then support them. So we do the whole 360 life cycle of IT. So my experience of mentoring has actually been a fantastic one, which is one of the reasons I'm so kind of pleased to be here today, really passionate about it as a topic, as a way of passing on experiences to others. So probably, well, if it wasn't for mentoring, I definitely 100% wouldn't be where I am in my career today. Probably about 2008, so quite a long time ago, I was introduced to a business mentor. I was really lucky that my boss had seen that, it was something that was valuable. And all I can say is that it changed my life, it changed my outlook, it changed my career prospects. I've gone kind of, if you look at my career, it might be a little bit like this, and I was kind of like that. As soon as I was introduced to a mentor, it was more like that. I've kept mentoring going, so I haven't got the same mentor as I had then, but I've got a different mentor now. And I think probably the best way to put it is it accelerates your career, and it gives you the edge over other people. So it's something that I would encourage everybody to embrace, especially in this. This is brilliant. I think it's such a fantastic thing for the university to be doing, is offering you guys, professionals who've been there and done it. They've got the t-shirt, they've got the experience, and you've got this opportunity to learn from them. So I'm also a mentor myself. I do lots of volunteer mentor work for various charities, for HR groups and things like that. And I'm qualified as well. So as you can tell, something I'm really, really passionate about. And if you look at it, all you have to do is Google mentor, and you'll see various famous people quotes around it. Bill Gates professes that every single person, no matter what your position in the company, should have a mentor. And I absolutely agree. It just makes you, it opens your eyes. It kind of shines a spotlight on some of the things that you would never have even thought of before. And it's just a fantastic thing to have. Who doesn't need somebody else to kind of motivate them to pass on their experience? You know, it's a brilliant thing. So what I think I've kind of already touched on this. I mean, it's a massively great opportunity for all of you guys. And I would, you know, if you aren't already signed up, I think it's something that you should really, really take advantage of. And as Alice touched on, a lot of these, well, everyone is doing this voluntarily and giving up their time. And that's really the reason I applied, and a few people from the company have applied, is because we feel it's really important to pass it on. We've all had really great experiences with mentors. We've all kind of, you know, helped us in our careers, and we want to pass that on, which I think is really, really important. You know, obviously from our point of view, we get to meet students as well, which is fantastic. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with us kind of keeping, we like to keep a network around us. And that's another thing I'll just quickly add before I finish, is that when you've got a mentor, you've got to remember they've got a network as well. So you kind of get an introduction into a huge network of professionals you never would have been able to get access to otherwise. And, you know, that's certainly been the case for me. You know, my mentors kind of introduced me to someone else, introduced me to someone else, and every single kind of person that I've been introduced to through that kind of journey has helped me in my career.
Amazing, thanks, Jen. I think when I move on now to the next couple of guests, I think it'd be really good actually if we have chats straight after our final guest, Laura, because I think there's lots of things that I'm thinking about that our students would like to ask, and perhaps we can have a bit more of a conversation about it. So thank you so much. Yeah, I've got a couple of things I'd like to pick up from what you've said. Okay, moving on then. Thank you so much. Our next guest is Roni. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So thanks, Alice, for inviting me along today. So my name is Ronnie Siemens. I'm the Chief People Officer at Amplify. So as it says in the title, people is something that we take a huge amount of pride in and invest a lot of our resources and efforts in. Amplify, we're a high-tech company. We provide business intelligence for large corporations, banks, government, academia, manufacturing, any number of sectors really. And what we use really high-end deep tech technology to harvest the internet and then provide insights for large organizations. We're headquartered here in Cardiff, and we've got about close to 50 now worldwide, dispersed team in the US. We've got a team in London, and then one in Taiwan. So, and my experience with mentoring is, I've actually seen it really up close and personal. As Alice will know, I worked at the NatWest Accelerator for 3 years, where I was a business coach. And there's quite a big, there's a big difference between what a coach does and what a mentor does. So as a business coach, I was there to sort of challenge and use a lot of reflective practice with business owners and entrepreneurs. Which was really useful for them. It got them thinking about why they made the decisions they did, and I tried to lead them to get to the solutions they needed. But sometimes you just need someone to tell you how to do it. You just need someone to step in and go, I've been down that road a number of times, and you know what, I'm going to save you an awful lot of time, and this is the best way I've found. And that's what a mentor does. That's the difference, I suppose, between what a coach did, what I did, and what a mentor did. So we had a mentor program for business entrepreneurs, because we saw it was vital. If you're just starting out on that journey, be it any part of your career, having somebody you can lean on that can give you that insight. And it could be that they've not long gone into the career themselves. They don't have to have been in industry for many years. So I'm sure that there'll be a variety of mentors available. But it's just having that trusted critical friend that you can share ideas, bounce ideas off. And like I say, somebody that can show you the way when you just don't want to have to keep battling through. You want somebody that can light the way for you. It has to fit both sides. So what I would say is having the right mentor. It's not just about the knowledge that they've acquired that they can pass on, but it's a personality fit as well. So, if you really engage well with a mentor, it's not just about because they happen to have gone in a career path that you're interested in. You need to have that connection on a personal level as well. So like Jen referenced earlier, I practice what I preach. So I've got a number of mentors that some are more formal, others are informal, but I surround myself with these people because they've transformed the way I think. They raise my aspirations. They get me to actually think beyond what I thought was capable, which I love. And sometimes they tell me to slow it down a wee bit when maybe I'm going a little too fast. So having that sounding board and that trusted network around you is incredible. So I would absolutely advocate that having a mentor works for people when you're on the start of your journey, but it doesn't end there. You should surround yourself with these people throughout your career journey.
Amazing, thank you. And yeah, I think that even staff at Cardiff University, we've got the opportunity to be mentored by other staff within the university, so it's a brilliant scheme. I've certainly had mentors throughout my career as well, and I feel exactly the same. It's of what you and Jen have said. It's so worthwhile, and you do carry on. You carry on with that network, don't you? You keep in contact. So yeah, thank you. And then we've got our third and final guest, Laura. If you'd like to introduce yourself, and then we can all have a catch up at the end, that'd be fab.
Thank you, Alice. Hi everyone. So I'm Laura. I'm the director of LCVA Services. We're a multi-award-winning virtual support service, business-to-business services, such as we help other businesses with their administration, excuse me, their marketing and event support. Sorry. A little bit of background about me, purely because it is a bit of a personal journey as to how I got to where I am today. I left school with not a lot of qualifications in the bank to go ahead and get a job. I then found myself pregnant at 18 and had my son. Given that, I obviously had to kind of make ends meet, and I got a full-time job. I was 18 years old, and I felt a lot of people then had a lot of chat about stereotyping teenage parents, how they rely on benefits and all that kind of blah blah stuff. I was determined to change that perspective of people, of these young parents, and worked my butt off basically to get where I am today. I went back to full-time work as a single parent with my son, and I went back to university and got my business degree. From there, during my business degree, I kind of created this idea of virtually supporting businesses instead of them having to look down a traditional route of employing somebody and having to deal with that, with all the HR issues and with the payroll and all that sort of thing. They were able to outsource it to us. I built the business up from nothing. I didn't have a mentor throughout the business growth. I had a really good father who ran his own business for many years, so he was always kind of the one I turned to when I needed to ask any questions. And also my aunt, who's high up in CIPD as well. She's been great with me in terms of helping me grow and put me in the right direction when needed. I agree with what Jen and Ronnie have both just said. You kind of hit the nail on the head with the whole process for this mentoring with Cardiff University and the match process with it is really good. Everyone obviously has their own paths in life that they want to achieve, and by the matching process you're able to also link with people who you can fit with personally as well, who you actually can relate to. I think having a mentor is really important, but it's also having somebody who can relate to your situation and help you and guide you through it. That's a bit about me and my background and where I've been and what I've achieved. That it's been really tough, and like doing it on your own is not easy. But with help of the mentor and colleges, I really recommend that you take the opportunities that you have now and you grab them with both hands, because as soon as you leave university, it's very hard to get that sort of support out there. I can tell you from first-hand experience, when I started my business, I literally started from nothing, and I worked my way up through YouTube videos and building my network and all that sort of thing. So if you've got any opportunities to link up with these people now, I would suggest you go ahead and do it. We've also been able to now offer the university with experience places, internships, and obviously now we're working with a mentor program with Alice. And it's great because I want to give back something that I never had, and I want you to be able to have that experience. So yeah, I really look forward to this opportunity with everyone and meeting everyone and catching up. Thanks, Alice.
Amazing, thanks, Laura. Yeah, I think that's one of the main things that we're getting back from our mentors, is that they're wanting to give back. They know they've had fantastic experience of being mentors. They understand the importance of it, and so yeah, there is an element of giving back. And I think one of the key things that I think probably all three of you mentioned about it working both ways. So our mentors are going to be getting as much out. Jan, you touched upon it in the beginning. Your mentors are going to be getting as much out of it as the students are, and actually students might be able to connect with mentors and keep in contact for a very long time thereafter. And I know all three of the organisations that you work in have all offered some form of work experience over the past year and previously to that. So I know that as businesses you engage with the university because you want to work with our students and perhaps scout new talent. And do you think that mentoring could be a way for your business to perhaps do that? If you thought, oh, do you know what, this student is really great, they're asking all the right questions, they're really interested, and we might have an opportunity coming up anyway. I guess it could be an area where you could support them perhaps to apply, or to say, look, we've got an opportunity, you'd be great to fit. I don't know if anybody wants to respond to that.
That's exactly what we've done recently. We had a couple of students on the Insight program. They completed their program, they got so much out of it. Again, we encouraged them to reach out to networks that we were part of already, and they came with us over the meetings and met them. They even got some further work out of some of the people they met at these networking meetings. And one of them has also, we've retained one and kept her on an internship for, I can't remember how many weeks now, it's about 15, 16 weeks. And obviously the internship can continue as well. So there are plenty of opportunities out there for people who are looking for work experience. I'm sure that obviously there's a lot of people that can offer it out there.
Yeah, Roni, and I know that's something that Amplify you do as a business as well, don't you? Is when you work with students, quite often it's in the idea that you're going to, you know, invest in them and carry on working with them further. And you've had some great case studies, haven't you, of students who have met you on work experience and are still working for you now.
Yeah, so working with the university it's been a great way for us to get new talent into the company, actually. So we've taken advantage of the internship programs, which has been superb. We've had some incredible new talent come in, and we always do it with a view to turning that into a permanent opportunity. We're not one of these organizations that want to have somebody for a short period of time, have the benefit of their talent and brains and then let them move on. We want to develop them and keep them. So we definitely benefited from that. And mentoring could also offer that. So if we were mentoring somebody and we think they've got the right aptitude, the right behaviours, then absolutely we'd be crazy not to tap them on the shoulder and say, look, there's a post coming up. We think you'd be ideal. But failing that, I mean, if we didn't have a position, and if I was mentoring somebody and I thought they were great, I would do everything I could to find something for them within my network anyway. So if Amplify didn't have a particular opportunity for them, I'd certainly go out and about my network to say and vouch for the person I'm mentoring, the mentee, and just say, look, this person's fab. I've worked with them closely. I can vouch for them. And that should add some weight, I would hope, for opening some doors.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's, one of the great things about mentoring is that it's not a massive amount of commitment from, we're talking about 6 hours over the course of 4 months, but the doors that could open and the network that you can establish from that is amazing. Jen, I've got a question for you, and then I'll have a little look at the chat. If anybody in the chat would, or any students who are in would like to put some questions in the chat, then please do, that you'd like to ask any of our guests today. But Jen, something that I talk about with students is the bigger picture, and obviously you working in HR, do you think that, what are the benefits of perhaps if a student who really wants a software developer as a mentor but gets a mentor who isn't a software developer but still works in tech, how can that work? Do you think there's still a benefit for that
100%
element?
Yeah. I mean, so I think Romy touched on this. So a mentor is somebody who you learn from their experience. So of course I can understand why somebody who wants to be something in particular would want a mentor that had been there and done that exact job in that exact industry. However, that doesn't mean that the mentor won't have massive value add, because the skills we're talking about and the ones that you've brought up today on the presentation are transferable. And I think that's the point, is that, you look at some of the things you've mentioned on there, like commercial awareness, that's a transferable thing. And the more you can learn about that, the better. And again, I go back to the point that everyone's mentioned, which is it's about networking. So, and once you've done this once, and you've got to build your confidence up with this stuff as well, because you might be feeling a little bit of kind of anticipation about, actually signing up to this and being introduced to a mentor. But actually, once you've broken that barrier and you realize what you can get from it, you will always have something to learn from everyone. And when I talked about my mentors, so my original mentor was a business mentor that coached me and got me into HR. Sorry, mentored me, not coached. Mentored me, got me into HR, and I've now turned to a HR mentor because I want to specifically learn about that. But I've got both, so I learn from both, and they're different skills, but equally I get the benefit from both. So yeah. I hope that answers the question. I started rambling at the end, sorry.
No, definitely. But, I'm seeing the mentors that are applying, and there are so many professions and positions that I've never even heard of. So that will be the same for students. So it will be interesting. Actually, it might be a profession or a job role that you of and that your skills are suited for. So
just embrace it, because so I might be head of HR, but I started off on the service desk. I've been a team leader, I've been a manager, I've been an operations director, and now I'm in HR. So don't forget that person brings them, that there's a wealth of experience there.
Yeah, amazing, thank you. Right, we've got a couple of questions. Perhaps they might be more so about the logistics of the mentoring, so I'll run through them. Is the scheme something you'd recommend to a first year, even though it'll be a while before I go into industry? I think absolutely yes, isn't it? I'm getting some nods. The earlier you start on work experience and mentoring, the better. So absolutely, that's the reason why this programme is open to students at all levels. And it might be that if you are a first year, we can match you with a junior. I say a junior, somebody who's moved into a junior role, who's a recent graduate, so that they'll be able to perhaps guide you a little bit more on the study element, or about getting into their first graduate job. So we'll be mindful of that when we're matching. Another question was about whether the students will be able to see who the mentors are before applying. Our mentors and our students are all applying at the same time, so that's not going to be possible, and we're going to have to do a big piece of work to make sure we get the matching right. So what will happen is, once you apply, you'll get an email sometime in December just making sure you've completed the certain aspects of the mentoring scheme, and just to say thank you. And then if you're matched with a mentor, you'll be getting an email sometime in January notifying that you've been matched and who that's with, and then there'll be further information on there for you. Let me have another little look. What sort of sectors are available? Okay, so what sort of sectors are available on the scheme? Is there any healthcare sectors? We've got an absolute massive range of people from different mentors. So what I would say is apply, because that we're getting more and more in every day. So apply, and we'll do our very best to match you. If you're looking for somebody within the healthcare sector, then apply. But there's also the option when you apply to choose a main area and other different areas. So if it's not just healthcare, but actually you'd be interested in a mentor from business or a different area, then that will help us as well. Again, thinking about the bigger picture, about where you can get your support from. I'm just going to double check whether I've missed any. One question was, how can you get a mentor whilst working? So obviously a scheme like this is open now for students whilst they're studying, but what about when they go into the world of work? Have you got any experience of perhaps if there's any mentoring? Some employers have mentoring schemes, or is it that network that you're building up anyway? Can you ask somebody if they would be a mentor? What are your experiences of that?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll quickly respond. Yeah, some employers do offer it. As you said, Alice, the university do it. Some of the bigger organisations certainly offer that internally, or bring in mentors from outside. But there's so many opportunities to find good mentors now online. Classic example would be LinkedIn. I've used LinkedIn extensively to look at what are the sectors I'm interested in first. So use that as a search option filter. Then start to look at, right, who are the people in this industry, perhaps either locally to me or globally now, being as almost everything is remote. And then start to align myself with people who I think, right, I love the way they think. I get what they've done and what they've achieved, and I'd love to find out more. And then I just don't think you can beat that personal approach. Now, it's not to say if you reach out to somebody, everyone's going to say yes, right? Let's be realistic. It's the same as applying for jobs and things. I think you've got to kiss a few frogs before you get there. But I do think, reaching out and a personal message. I know if something landed in my inbox and somebody actually taken the time to look at my career path, understood where I'd been, and then asked for some of my time, I'd find it very hard to say no. So, I think take advantage of some of these social, professional networks that are out there.
And I think one of the sessions is about LinkedIn and about networking, so developing your LinkedIn platform, connecting with your mentor. And so if if at any point in your career you did want to put out a post to say looking for a mentor, that can then get shared between your mentors network and so on. And that's how I guess you build your network and would be able to get a mentor, within your career. I'm mindful of the time. We've run over, we've talked and talked and talked. It's been absolutely amazing. I've got a couple of slides to run through, but I'm mindful that our guests may need to pop off. So feel free to pop off if you want to. And I'm going to blitz through a couple of slides now about how to apply and some extra information. So I'm going to say thank you now, just in case you do want to shoot off. It's been absolutely amazing, really great insight. And look forward to having you on the mentoring scheme. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks all, good luck.
So I'm going to move on now to, if you are interested in being mentored, if you've not applied already, then it's really simple. You need to go onto your careers account. Now, if you're not familiar with where your careers account is, this is on the Your Future tab on the intranet. And your careers account, you need to be checking all the time. This is where the jobs board is. This is where you can attend events and appointments and all sorts of things on there. So all you need to do is click on the work experience tab, which is here. And then once you've clicked onto your work experience tab, you'll see a work experience scheme list. And then on the left-hand side, you've got career mentoring. And on there then it will give you all the information about the scheme. You'll be able to click into the advert, and then on the advert you've got a big green apply now button on there for you. Here are just some run-throughs of the timeline. So applications close on the Sunday the 29th, matching processes in December, January is when you'll be emailed, and then mentoring takes place between January and April, and they're 6 one-hour sessions. Now, for those of you who don't know, all of your hours for your mentoring will go towards the Cardiff Award, the sessions you complete and the hours. So if you're getting involved in work experience or mentoring, then why not get recognised for it? If you want to know more information about that, all you've got to do is search Cardiff Award on the internet, and it will take you through to some further information. We've had some amazing sessions this week. We've got one more tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon, making the most out of your experience through reflection. So we talked about reflection today and how important it is. So have a little look on the events section on your careers account if you'd like to book onto that. And these are the two main resources that I mentioned before. So the careers account is where you can search work experience, book sessions, find events, and your career journey is where the Cardiff Award is sat, and also the sessions for the mentoring. So we've done our questions. I'll have a little look now in the chat anyway, in case there are any more. But thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you found the session really good, and I'm so pleased about so much information from our employers. It was fantastic. So yes, thank you all. Feel free to log off now if you want, and I'm just going to have a little look through some questions, and best of luck with your applications. Thanks.